City Council to order. I'll point out that we have a revised agenda this evening, and the revision is an addition of the fire department appointment. And with that, Randy, would you take a roll call?
Kent Miller,
Present.
Lee McMillan,
Present.
Tony Dingler,
Yes.
Matt White, Matt Michelle, Andrew Brigham.
Present. Thank you. If you'd stand with me for the invocation and the flag salute. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful moisture that we're receiving in our area. We thank you for the wonderful crops that we've been able to harvest so far, and hopefully the weather straightens out so our community can go ahead and reap the benefits of a wonderful fall harvest. Be with our law enforcement as they protect us. Be with our guide our city council as we make the decisions that affect our community for the near future and in the long term. In your name we pray. Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lee, do you have anything to say?
No, sir.
Thank you. Tony? No. Thank you. Lloyd?
No, thank you.
Matt?
No.
Kent? Andrew? Okay, I don't either, thank you. Looks like the water's draining down there, so the new drainage is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, get it run on better, so. With that, we'll go to, get my agenda here, where it is. Katie is not with us this evening, and so Jason, we'll go to you.
So since Katie's not here, she'll yield the balance of her time to me, so. We'll be quick. We have, I think, a couple, Tony and Tom were able to make it to the pipeline meeting, had an initial little kickoff. Again, part of what we gotta get done is just what they call a cultural survey. They've already done the environmental review and some of the report's pretty much done, but I guess the actual cultural review, which is when they actually go out on site, kind of do some, they have an actual archaeologist or professional archaeologist go out and kind of walk 12 miles. And it's just part of what they would call mitigating factors, you know, so they did find something that to mitigate it somehow. So obviously this is kind of a big highway of Native Americans especially to the area, so I'm sure there'll be stuff that they'll find, et cetera, so we'll just deal with that. So, but anyways, we had a pretty good turnout. Basically all we were trying to do is just get kind of permission. We're not really even, I mean, I had him sign a little letter, but basically all the guy needs is just that, you know, nobody's gonna say, what are you doing on my property? So basically that all the property owners are for the most part aware of it. And so we had a good turnout. I'll kind of just hold this up and I'll turn this to Terry too in here in a second. So this is kind of the 12-mile route. And so the red is where we've had, you know, pretty good positive contact already. And the other ones I really don't see any issues yet either. So, you know, I'd say we're probably got 75% of it covered already just in that meeting. And then, sorry, Terry, so kind of route the red, you know, we've
That's
touched
the
them.
first and the last mile, or the middle mile?
That's the whole 12 miles.
Oh, the whole 12 miles?
Yep, so yeah, we just, power of zooming, we got it kind of zoomed out, so,
Okay.
so yeah, again, it just kind of lets you know that we've made some pretty good progress on that. And the nice thing is kind of our first touch, you know, with, where, you know, it's gonna be a lot, you know, more intense conversation in the coming months, you know, but, the positive is that really, like I said before, there's not a lot of landowners in that area. It's, you know, a lot of the same people or the same families or whatever, so. So I would say it's a positive meeting, a lot of good groundwork. That guy's supposed to be here in October to get that done and keep that ball rolling. So the flood mapping update, so this kind of happened concurrently with our last meeting. And basically this is, oops, find a new thing here, so I gotta get ahead of it, put it over here. This is basically going to be the we're in a flood, or we participate in the flood mapping, NFIP, or I think is what it's called, National Flood Insurance Program. And so basically, our area was still on paper maps. It's one of the few areas in the country that's still on paper maps. And this kind of been a transition I'd say they've been doing probably for the last 10 or 15 years, really, because I've been in areas that had paper maps and they've slowly got digitized. So this has been a good project. It's in concert with Kansas, you know, one of the departments, I'm not sure, Department of Agriculture looks like, that works with this. So basically, you know, obviously the power of technology They're gonna do LiDAR, and it's multi-dimensional, so basically water's gonna flow based on how they scan the area, a lot more like water. Before, it was kind of a one-dimensional measurement. I'm not exactly, I'm sure they still used aerial topography of some sort, but it's much more one-dimensional, so the water would act a lot differently on their maps. Obviously, these aren't, I'm gonna click something on here. Below, there we go. So you'll see this dark blue is what the paper map shows, digitized, okay? So again, water acts differently, and it, obviously it can't tell maybe exactly how the topography reads. So this new mapping is gonna be much more accurate. And basically what they've been meeting with us about is just saying, hey, what's other areas that we need to study or that you've noticed that there could be issues going on, whether it's in a floodplain or not, but it's a floodway or something that should be regulated. That's even something, in our floodplain, we have a floodplain management ordinance that maybe we need to look at, just to make sure that we don't make the problem worse, by letting somebody build or do something, improvement in what we consider a floodway. Now, again, you might say, wow, well, it's got a lot of blue on it. Compared to a lot of communities, we really are fairly unscathed. I mean, there's even in this area, you look at, Glen Elder or Copper City. I mean, it's amazing how much of their towns are covered by potential flooding. So, in the most part, this is telling us kind of a story from just a localized flooding events. The story we already kind of know, we're already kind of studying. So they've been giving us a lot of praise for your guys' decision to kind of start looking into how we're going to prevent this. And obviously, we're going to have a lot better information. It's also information that they can use in their mapping. And so this is something that takes place over, these maps probably won't become official until 2023. So it's a kind of a back and forth thing. We provide input, they study it, it's kind of that whole deal. So I just kind of wanted to show that to you. The purple is kind of newer additional stuff that they're looking at. Obviously, we're pretty well aware of some of the effects that has. But anyways, I always think this stuff's really interesting and fascinating just because of you go through bad flooding events in your life, you kind of start paying attention to that stuff. So, so it'll be a really good thing for our area, but obviously something that Lloyd from the Planning Commission and the council and the floodplain we're going to try to tackle as far as maybe updating some of those in our ordinance. Right now, we just cite and say, hey, Zone A, which is the 100-year flood zone, is all that we, really regulate and say, hey, you can't do X, Y, Z into this zone. And obviously, this newer data with the data we're going to get from Schwab Eaton, et cetera, it might be something where we say, hey, we need to expand that a little bit. It doesn't really hurt existing property owners so much. In fact, it may help them because it actually opens them up to additional FEMA resources because it's a floodplain that it may not be zone A, but it says, hey, there's still identified floodplains, they're just not in that A zone. But if we say, hey, it's an area we regulate and manage, then it kind of opens up some of those additional dollars. And obviously we know of entities that have been impacted even by the most recent flooding, so that could be a good thing for them. But it's also saying, hey, we don't necessarily want you to build more building in the same area that's getting flooded all the time. So anyways, good stuff there. Going back, ALP master plan update. So that's the airport. Obviously, it's something that's kind of been a little bit slow here recently, but just kind of waiting for Kansas. What's the airport? I can't even think of it all of a sudden. Sorry. I think Kansas Department of Transportation, their airline wing or division, basically, or airport division. So we kind of went through their review and their inputs, and then the local FAA rep Jason Knepp, so that's been done. So basically, this is scheduled for October 17th, and that's again our regular airport planning committee that we have, and we're really close to where we'll have kind of a public open house and session with the council as well. Remember we have about 3 or 4 committee meetings, and then kind of the open house and the council presentation, and then kind of one last committee meeting before it's kind of finalized. So anyway, I just want to let you know that is still going. We the last meeting I think was in May, so just kind of that whole summertime just kind of didn't have anything going on, but doesn't mean things weren't going on in the background. So she'll be here. Diane, she's done a really good job leading the way, so been happy with their work so far. And then the last thing is the demo bid. That's why you don't have it on your agenda. We did not receive any bids for those houses that we put out for demo. And I think part of the issue was probably probably put too aggressive of a response period, and it's a really, it's kind of busy. The weather's finally broken here the last month and a half, so everybody's going busy. Most of our contractors that could do it are either on big jobs or already have, there's been a lot of houses torn down in town, so they're already kind of swamped with that stuff. So, kind of in Mandy's discussion, unless the council has different feedback, is, we'll probably put it back out maybe for for the whole month of October, and kind of pound on some of those doors, say, hey, can you take a look at it, and then make sure we're getting bids, and then also kind of give them a bigger window on the back end to actually get it done. There's definitely, there's people that will do it. It was just, we were trying to, hey, get it turned around quick. Well, everybody's trying to get it turned around quick too on whatever job they're doing, because we know winter's coming. So, anyway, so that's what's going on there. So that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Looks like we'll go to the Economic Development Director report.
Yep,
Heather.
that's me. It was really fast 2 weeks. I felt like I was just here. So I do have a few things. We're getting ready to do our Solomon Valley Economic Development Annual Meeting. We'll do that here in October. We're 60 years in existence of that organization, so we invite everyone to come to that meeting. I'll tell you what that date is here in a second. 1, 2, 3, to be October 17th is when we'll do that. We do it at 12:30 in the basement of Regional Planning. Community Foundation Match Month, we're getting ready to kick that off again in November, but you'll start to hear things about that in October. So Dane Hansen again has tasked us with raising $50,000, and if we raise $50,000, they'll match us $75,000. So over the last 3 years, we've put over $400,000 back into our impact fund. The Community Foundation mailings will go out here pretty soon with our annual report, and we're sitting at a little over $6.5 million in that fund already, which is pretty incredible considering it's only 6 years old. So we've done really well in that fund. It just goes to show you that if you give people a vehicle to give money back into the community, they really are passionate about it. So we've really worked hard on that transfer of wealth, trying to capture people's wealth before it leaves the community, especially if we have somebody that's here and they're the last living relative here, and we hear it a lot that they have the funeral, the kids come to town, go to the funeral home, go to the bank, clear out the money, and then leave town. And that person's lived here their whole life, and everything passionate about what they have and what they've done has been in this community. So the big Keep 5 in Kansas campaign is if even they would leave 5% of their estate back into the community that they lived in, what a difference that would make. So we're really talking about that a lot, and that's definitely community development. Once again, I will go to the Kansas Association of Community Foundations Conference. I take that out of my own budget because there's a lot of economic development talk that happens at that conference, and then we also are able, through our own foundation, to send 3 additional people. So it's a great conference. It's just a couple of days in Wichita. It's a national conference. So last year I actually sat by people from the Lilly Foundation and the Kellogg Foundation, and I mean it's incredible because there are definitely people from all over the world. I sat by a lady from Bermuda too, which was crazy. The Rural Opportunity Zone, we went ahead and okayed that again for another go-round. There are, again, 7 people that are in that program. There's 12 people that have already graduated out of that program. There's about another 20 on the wait list for that program. They're getting a little slack on it in the state level, so we've kind of got a little rally of us, and especially in this northwest Kansas area, that are going to work really hard to try and keep that program because we understand the benefit of it. I've been doing a lot of tours. People are hiring, which is a really good thing. I think I told you guys last time, but I love it because it definitely lets me see other parts of the community that maybe I forget about or how great they are. And along with that, when we talk about programs, our housing programs, our neighborhood revitalization program, things that we have going on with rehab, home ownership programs, those are all things that other communities don't offer, so it's another thing that gives us a leg up. And then the last thing, and I'm kind of happy and sad to report, I'm helping with 2 executive director searches, if you haven't already heard. Obviously, Doug McKinney is getting ready to retire in 2020, I think March or April of 2020, so we're looking for a new executive director there. And then also Elisa Woods from Post Rock Extension District has accepted a job. So she's accepted her boss's job, and so she's moving up, which is still great for our area because she's a really good voice for especially these 5 counties. So it takes a little bit of time, but again, it's kind of fun to be able to show people from the outside what we have here. So, questions? Again, it was a really fast 2 weeks. I feel like I was just here. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is public comment, and tonight Vicki Mears is going to address us about the economy shop. Good evening, Vicki.
Hello. It's really a thank you. The economy shop has been closed for about 5 weeks, and we just reopened yesterday. And the main thing was to clean up the area well and get reorganized. We're very low on volunteers, so we've had to go to just being open Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 1 to 4:30. And we would hope that we can extend that if we get some volunteers that step up. Apparently, they really missed us because we made almost $500 in 3.5 hours yesterday. So. And we've also tried to make it a little easier on the city people with trying to get the donations down to just the days that we're open. So we're going to try to keep the chain across the stairway. We can't stop people from coming up the elevator, but we're hoping that we can put some containment on it. We've also requested people do not bring us any electronics, no TVs, no stuffed animals, and only good, gently used clothing and appliances, small appliances that work. We don't have anybody, we used to have